Okay, so nobody's asked for this video, but I figured I'd make a video, or I'd at least document the process of what I'm about to do. So this is my AUG replica. It's an ASG brand, AUG, AUG, whatever you want to call it, A1. I bought this secondhand. It was barely used, as you can probably see. There's hardly any dinks or scratches or marks on the thing, and I was genuinely really impressed with how it performed. I have done very few upgrades to this. The only thing that I've done two things. I've changed out the hot rubber and nub to a maple leaf Macron 50 degrees with a little Amiga nub, and I have put in a slightly more powerful spring just to increase the FPS a bit, because being that this is a bullpup, meaning that everything goes on behind the trigger, magazine, action, gearbox, etc., you've got a really long inner barrel. In fact, that's what this video is about. What I'm going to be doing in this video is changing the inner barrel out. So at the moment, this has the stock OEM brass inner barrel, and it's got the stock hop unit. I have got with me today a little parcel from Bullseye. If you know anything about airsoft, you'll know about Bullseye. Bullseye's a great shop. Highly recommend it for all of your airsoft paraphernalia. So I have got ASG on my hop unit, some new maple leaf MR hot rubbers that I want to try out, and a lovely stainless steel 6.02mm 509mm in a barrel. Now this is an XT in a barrel, XT brand. XT do some really good stuff, and I have actually got pretty much all of my replicas have XT barrels in them apart from this one. So that is what I'm going to be doing in this video. So join me, see what goes wrong, shall we? Right, so first off, disassembly. The AUG, whatever, is an absolute joy to disassemble. So first of all, what you're going to want to do is cock the rifle back, charge it back, whatever. You have to do that to be able to release the inner barrel. To release the inner barrel, you have to depress this button here, twist the inner barrel up, and it releases. Sorry, not the inner barrel, the whole barrel assembly comes out. So for this video, we don't need the rest of the rifle. So I'm going to put that to one side. So here's the hop unit. This is the standard ASG hop-up unit. I am going to be replacing that and the inner barrel. So I need to take out these Phillips screw heads, I believe, to get the inner barrel out. I haven't done this in a while. I have taken this apart once before, just to kind of see how it all worked, but that was a while ago. So I get my trusty lid here to store all of my little screws, etc. So we're going to, is that going to fit in that? Yeah. All right, so take out these tiny little Phillips screws. They are absolutely minute, don't want to lose them. I believe this is what holds. Yeah, there we go. That has just released the inner barrel, as you see there. I'm just going to fully take this out. Right. I think that there's your inner barrel. There's a cap on the end there. There's a spring. Don't think there is anything else inside of that. Right. So you can see, brass in a barrel. Here's the hop unit. It's a very different hop unit to what you probably more commonly see on, say, an M4 replica or anything that has a V2 gearbox in it. Here's an example. Is a ZCI rotary hop unit next to an AUG-A1. You can see they look quite different. Put that to one side. Right, so I've got to take this off. So I've got to take that tiny little pin out there to relieve the tension. So I need another, that little pin there. I don't know if you can see that right there. That holds the arm, which holds the nub in place. Oh God, it's gonna come out. Oh, almost pierced my skin there. Don't do what I'm doing. All right, that should release the tension on that. Oh, it's very, I think I put, there we go. That should, there we go. So there's the hop up arm with the nub. So I'm going to keep the nub. Put that there. Don't need the arm, so we can remove that. Now, can I remove this? So you've got to take that off. That kind of just holds it all in place, and then you should be able to take this off. That is tight, and as you can see, it is making a mess of my rubber. But that doesn't really matter because we're not going to be using that again. In fact, I'm going to bin that now. So we don't need this anymore, and we don't need this anymore. This is, you know, not a bad barrel. Oh, we're going to need that. Retain that pin, that gold ring. So you want the spring. You want that bracket. You don't need that hop-up unit more. I'm going to keep the nub, and we don't need this. So do that to one side. Okay, let's take out this hop unit. So I'm going to use one of these rubbers in this hop unit. Here's the new hop unit. This is the ASG Ultimate. Sorry, let me see. Hop-up chamber, AUG series, chamber hop-up, AUG. Yeah, pardon me. It's essentially a metal version of this, as you can see. Pretty much the same thing, just a cast metal hop-up unit. Now, one of the issues I was having with this hop-up unit, and you might be able to make out, there is PTFE tape in there. Now, that is a classic airsoft bodge, and the reason that PTFE tape is in there is because this was not holding hop. Essentially, that ring there, which is what you use to adjust the hop, was moving every time, literally every time you shot the replica, and that just didn't, it just doesn't work, does it? If your hop's changing every time you shoot, you're going to be shooting it all over the shop. So the new in a barrel, but take this out of these. I love these shoes, they're really handy. Can we get it out? There we go. So the in the barrel should hopefully come out. Oh, damn. There are some tiny little O-rings on the inner barrel that are there, I guess, to act as support for the inner barrel once it's in. You can see the O-rings there, and it's actually capped, which is quite nice to keep any dust or debris out of the inner barrel, which is cool. So we can take that plug out, hopefully. Yeah, there you go. Take this one out of here. So that is the end where your rubber's going to go, your hot rubber. You can see the window there, which is where the nub will kind of actuate on the, or create less or more hop. So let me just check, where is that in the barrel? I've just looked, there it is. Check these are the same length. I did check online before. Yeah, lovely. These are exact same length. I did check the specs before I ordered this, but I just wanted to be sure. So, excuse me, my workbench is on a tilt. So if you put anything cylindrical down it, it rolls this way, which is really annoying. So here's the MR hot rubber. I've never used the MRs before. I've only used the Macrons, but I hear these are pretty good. So we're going to go with this and see how it performs. So if you've never done this before, on the inside of a hot rubber, there is a little line there that you can see. Now that goes onto the end here, but it has to line up with the groove that's in the end of the barrel. So just make sure that when you do put it on there, you line that up nicely and just give it a... I normally just tap it down like that, just till it gets to the end. Don't be too forceful with it, but at the same time, you don't want to fanny around. This is quite tight. Might have to add some lubricant to this to get this on the end of the barrel. I don't really want to do that. I'm just going to try tapping it down and see if that works. It seems to be biting on something, so I might have to add a bit of lubricant to the end of... So I wouldn't normally advise this, but I'm going to get some silicone oil and a little bit of paper roll, paper towel. Apply that to the end of the barrel, just a bit, not a lot. And hopefully that will allow this to slide on a little bit better. God, these are... There we go. Yeah, that did aid that on there. So I've got that on there, that is seated nicely. So hot rubber is now on there. So this is a 60 degree. Again, I haven't used a 60 degree on this replica before. I've only used a 50 degree. So I need to make sure that this is seated right. So that needs to go, window is, where's the window? Window is there. So you need to make sure that this goes in the right way. So there is usually a line at the bottom of the hop-up unit. So that line has to line up with that. Got that one in really easy. I did not expect that. So that is seated there. Now what you can do is you can get your little clip here. Did that come with... Yes. No. That's the old one. Let's get the new one over here. New one sits on there. There we go. So that will hold the barrel in place. I'm going to put this gold ring, or brass ring, down into the hop-up unit. And I'm going to hopefully be able to get that in there to act as a bit of a support. It might be a bit too big. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it wants to go in there, so I might just have to use the O-ring that came with it, which probably makes sense, doesn't it, Kyle? So let's take that off. We'll just check that doesn't want to, yeah, it's too much material, it's too thick. So I'm going to take that off. And then I'm going to get one of these O-rings. So there's one O-ring that goes there. There's actually a notch cut out on the end, which is quite nice. And then the other one needs to go over that. So I have to feed this all the way down the barrel. God. And then hopefully you can get that inside of there. Doesn't look like, there we go. So there's a pair of tweezers would be handy for this. Where are my tweezers? Did have a pair of tweezers somewhere. Damn, what did I do with my tweezers? Always misplacing things on this bloody bench. Wo ist meine Tweezers? Oh, there they are. They've fallen out of the spot that they're supposed to be in. So I've got these little tweezers here. And that should be able to help me just nudge that O-ring into the hop-up chamber. This is a little bit fiddlier. A little bit fiddlier? That's not a word, is it? We're almost in. There we go. Is that in there? It just aligns the barrel, makes it straight. Right, so that's on there. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay, then we're going to have to put the nub and the hop-up arm. So if you get your nub here, that sits on the arm like so. Now what I recommend is putting your nub inside of the hop-up unit, then putting the arm on top of that. Again, this is a little bit fiddly, but that should fit in there. You can use the tweezers again to align this correctly. Tweezers are really handy for airsoft jobs. Highly recommend just you invest in a pair, particularly a set like this that are alright. So that needs to sit in the window, and this needs to go on top of that like so. So that should, this work is always more fiddly than you think. It's interesting. Might have to remove some material off of that arm. Just gonna rotate this ring here just to see, put it at the minimum setting. So that should go in there. That is very tight. Jesus. So there's a bit too much material on the edges of this hop-up arm, but I suppose it's kind of a good thing, because then it means it should sit. It should hold accuracy a bit better, I hope. Okay, so the arm is in. Don't know if that's seated correctly on top of the... Is that in there? I want to check. Yeah, okay, so you can see, hopefully, that tiny little hole there. You can see light through it. You can see my hand behind it. So then behind, sorry, not behind that, so through that, you need to put this little pin to retain it. God, that is tight. Everything on this is, oh, maybe it goes through that side. Oh, fiddly. fiddly. Sorry for the overuse of the word fiddly. Oh dear. Now I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. So that is now through there. There is a little clip. One of these bad boys. I'm not sure what they're called. It's not a C-clip, but it does the same thing. That goes on the end. Does that go on the end of that? Yeah, it does. God, they've really thought about it. If it does go on the end of that, it's very... Maybe that goes on the other side. Oh, I'll just drop that. Brilliant. Right, let's try feeding it in to the other side. So I'm just going to push that pin back out. Very tight. I'm going to try feeding it in the other way. God. Doesn't like this side, I'll tell you that. Okay, got that through. Maybe I can fit that on there now. Probably not doing this right, but airsoft's always a bit of a bodge. There we go, that is getting that. We're getting that. Now we're sucking diesel. Right. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's seated on there. So I'm using these tweezers, to push that down a bit more if I can, just so it doesn't come off. Do you know what? That'll do. Right. So, currently that has no hop set on it, so I am just checking. Yeah, okay, cool. So I was just checking then that is working nicely. So the wheel is working now. Here is the last step of installing the hot unit. Applying this little ring to the back. You should be able to lock that on there. No, my luck, it's not going to work. So, sorry, I'm just looking for tools. Right, let's see. I don't know why that doesn't want to go on there. Got some large pair of pliers here. Nope. That does not like that. Don't want to break this. Oh, I think, yes, we've got that on there. Oh dear. Right, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's on there. Now the problem is I don't know if my inner barrel is straight anymore because of all the bloody twisting and turning I've just been doing. But what we can do, hopefully, is if we remove this C-clip here, hopefully, God, everything on this thing is so tight. My God. Trying to get that off of there is very difficult. Okay, well, we're just going to have to assume that that is in the right orientation. I think it is, because I can see the barrel description, which is laser etched onto the end of the barrel here, and that lines up with the top of the barrel. Okay, so that is hop-up unit installed on the inner barrel, the new inner barrel. So now we're going to put this back together, hopefully. Just going to clean my surface up here a little bit. Right, so this needs to get rid of that hop-up old barrel. So it needs a spring on it. Yep. And that needs to go on the end of this. So that sits like that. Then hopefully, does that go on first? Yeah, it does. Right, let's see what happens here. Why is that not going in? Just going to check this now. I must have to put that on first. God, that's got to go on first. It has. Right. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to put this brass. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this O-ring off the front. Put this brass piece there. Let's kind of center it. Put this O-ring back on the front of the inner barrel, in that little groove you can see there. This is all quite fiddly work. God, I've said it again. Fucking fiddly. And then, hopefully, we should be able to install this now. He says, God, that is bloody tight, that, I tell you that. Doesn't want to go in. I think that O-ring is slightly too thick. Yeah, it doesn't like that. That goes all the way back onto there. God. Tell you what I'm going to do. I said I wasn't going to do it. I know what I'm going to do. Instead of putting silicone lube on there, I'm going to get some gun grease LT2. I'm going to apply a very, very small amount of this to that O-ring, which is quite difficult because my paintbrush here has seen better days. I'm hoping that that might ease the inner barrel through. Now, this isn't going on the inside of the inner barrel. You wouldn't want to do that for obvious reasons. I shouldn't need to tell you that. I shouldn't be doing this really. Right, that's enough. Probably too much, if anything. Right, let's try now. Yes. It doesn't like it. God. What is going on? Why is that not going in there? I haven't got the faintest clue why that isn't going in there. I don't know if I'm just being really stupid or something. Let me just check this. There's two more flip screws here. I'm looking to see if they do anything. coming out? No. I don't think these do anything, but I'm just going to take them out just to see. I've literally no idea what that's doing. I don't think that's doing anything, so I'm just going to screw that back in. That's lost its thread. It's literally not doing anything. So the diameter of these inner barrels must be slightly different. Let's have a look. Oh, I've just lost something. What have I just dropped? Oh, it's alright, it's just the rubber end off of that barrel tube. These must be ever slow. Oh god, yeah, there's quite a big difference in that. Oh dear. I might have to force this, you know. Okay, we're in. We're in. Sorry, I've just realised that was probably off camera. Oh, I've just actually... That has just cracked a barrel assembly. Not massively, but slightly. Not good, Kyle, not good. Right, so hopefully by putting... Let me just put this screw back in. Back here. Well, actually, it's at the front, isn't it? Might have to tape that just to... Yeah, that doesn't actually do anything. Weird. Right. Let's grab... Let's move that paintbrush out of the way before I get grease on everything. So I don't need that piece there. I just need these tiny little screws to go and support the barrel. Oh, that was close. Definitely almost lost the screws. This is not going to plan, but it never does with airsoft. That's the funny thing. Okay, that's gone in. And the other side. That is also in. Now, what I've just realised is this may not now work because there's no movement on this. There used to be a bit of spring tension on there, but we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to quickly remove some of my tools and bits from getting in the way. I can then bring back in to the frame my AUG. Now in theory, I should be able to put this in. That's back in. Now I can check to see if that is seated right. By cocking the rifle, yes, that is. You can see there the new hop-up unit, the shiny hop-up unit. Okay, I'm gonna report back and let you know if this doesn't work. Thanks for watching.